Alright, I've almost got us there, I think. Let's just double check. Yep. The chamber should be to the right here. Alright, let's give this a try. Just creeping on up. Creeping on up. Okay. I think that's different. The hallway widened. In a few moments, the path turned, opening into a large chamber where a dragon lay curled on the ground. No big deal. Jeez Louise. Oh, it's this guy. Hey, guy. I called for you, but was unable to reach your mind. The magician wields an amulet which renders this body feeble, and he is in the process of disabling the last of the defenses which ring the life stone.
Mola is reckless, but I do not think he will have crippled you permanently. He must have unearthed some Valheru artifact, likely a product of Lyran Baktos, the master of dragons. While he would be incapable of ruling your mind, he could still command your dragon's flesh.
Yeah, I know the type.
My inability to know my own future blinded us to the possibility. It's something we will have to attend to later.
Okay.
Gorath, I wish you to stay here and guard the oracle.
Thank you. It pains me that protection is necessary. That's what he said. And she said. But really, always use protection, folks. Pug, you may require my strength when you reach the Serani magician.
You will have a difficult time in the Lifestone Chamber. No, Gorath, you have already given too much to this quest, and seen what should have been seen by no one other than myself. You would never so much as scratch Makala's skin before he burned you to cinders. He will...
Just like that he's admonishing him in that voice.
He would burn you alive. He will be more respectful in the presence of magicians, and less likely to do anything rash. For now, you have a responsibility to guard the oracle.
Pug hurried Owen under an archway. The corridor angled sharply downward, its rough earthen floor littered with a slippery ceramic material which cracked underfoot with each step taken. In places, the boy glimpsed ancient frescoes. Frescoes? I'm an idiot. Of a Moradel-looking race who stared back at him with eyes filled with enigmatic hate, sort of an inverse Mona Lisa smile, the cause of which had been millions of years dead. Following a slow bend, they arrived at last at what looked to be a stone wall, but quickly Pug muttered a few words, and the door shimmered away into nothingness. Beyond lay a vast chamber, and Makala was waiting for them. I don't have a voice for Makala, I guess. I'll have to think about it.
I hope more for you, Makala. When first you came to us years ago from the assembly, I sensed your heart full of dark...
Wait for it. I clicked, and I don't know why it's not doing anything. Click. How about a button? How about a W? Give me a W. An enter? How about an escape? Oh dear. Here we go again. Maybe I'll pick up the recording once things start working? Right click? Whoa, okay. I don't know what happened there. The right click, that was the answer. I don't know what that previous body of text said, but Makala says, "We Serani are of course bereft of that quality."
Save your prating for the assembly. You have returned my friendship with cold contempt, treated with my daughter as a wolf to his prey, and have defied my interdict to visit Sethanon. Assume nothing between us now other than the respect due between practitioners. Why has the Assembly of Magicians seen fit to interpose itself into Midkemian affairs?
As a whole, the Assembly was unable to reach consensus on this matter. They hesitate to dabble in matters that might arouse your ire. Otherwise disposed with a small problem concerning House Akoma, they decided those who felt this investigation necessary could conduct it of their own volition. I undertook that responsibility.
I should be careful taking such weight upon your shoulders. It may yet crush you.
Is it I or you should be more careful? I don't know.
10 years ago, you engaged in a battle to bar the Valheru entrance to your world. A battle in which you requested the service of several companies of Serani foot soldiers. As such, the battle became a matter of imperial interest and fell within the jurisdiction of the Assembly. You, however, have thwarted all our efforts to gather information about that battle, and have forbade our investigation of Sethanon. Many sons of great houses fell, but their bodies were never recovered for the proper rites.
Your attempts at evasion are execrable, Mola. Ooh, great word. I love the word execrable. I'm gonna raise my glass to that.
Never has the Assembly concerned itself with the souls of the dead, and I don't believe they are practicing a newfound piety. You wish to learn how I defeated the Valheru.
Indeed, how could we not? The Valheru were a race of unspeakable evil and dread power, who once nearly destroyed our world. Although my brothers harbor you the greatest respect, Pug, you would be incapable of turning aside such monstrous power unaided. Judging by the numerous defenses that ringed this abandoned town, we assumed the only possible solution. You concealed a thing of power in the caverns here.
I cannot fault your fears, but your methodology has been despicable. The Life Stone was created in the darkest days of the Mad God's rage, a war in which the Valheru strove to destroy the gods of Midkemia. With it they believed they could conquer every corner of the universe, and in all likelihood they could have. It must be eternally locked away here, and its existence must die out with that small handful of us that have looked upon it. You will speak to none of the Assembly about what you have found here, or you shall answer to me.
I cannot in good conscience keep such a secret. What if such a weapon were wielded against the Empire? Could not such a weapon lay waste to all her children? We cannot simply bury such a weapon. It must be destroyed for the good of all future generations of the Empire, and the Kingdom, and the Duchy, and the Barony, and the United States of America, and Mexico.
Impossible. We have no way to know what would happen if we attempted to destroy it. It may not be tested without potentially disturbing the Valheru whose souls now occupy the stone.
As I suspected, you have done nothing to study it. Great though your power may be, you haven't an inkling what secrets lie within that stone. Its very existence is obscene. It must not fall into the hands of a hostile power, such as the Soviet Union.
Mola, do not tamper with the stone. It must be left untouched for the good of all.
I judge now, as is my right as a great one of the Assembly of Magicians. It must be destroyed, Pug, for the good of the Empire.
Oh dear. Here we go. Anybody else in here? Alright. Final showdown. Let's try to jump him. Mola raised his staff, not wanting to strike down the Serani, but realizing the choice was being made for him. Pug summoned what resources were left of him after the Temirianian Cup had blanked his spellcasting ability. Perhaps between he and the boy, they could still defeat Mola. Oh, hello! Thanks. What the fuck are you? God! Son of a bitch, okay. Hey, so maybe I should have healed before getting into this fracas. Apparently... Shit. Oh, he's got the fucking thing in front of him! Oh god, it's a bat. I hate bats. We're in bat country. He's gonna just kill me, right? Okay, so. Oh my god, we're alive. I'm just gonna let him kill me, and I'm gonna try this again, because I can tell that basically nothing I do here will avail me a victory. So, here. Let's just sneak on up here. Just sneak on up here. And we're gonna have to cast some major spells. Or at least drink a lot of potions. Oh boy. Oh golly. Oh gee whiz. You're gonna want that. Let's just focus here. Okay. Now you can't heal much more beyond what you've already done. But let me just do that real quick. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm gonna just top it off. I don't even care. Okay. And I think we can drop this. Okay. Is this Luton's concentrate? It is. Okay. Okay, you're gonna need this. Give it back. And then what is this? This is a combat potion, melee combat potion, but I think it's probably going to be of use here. I wonder if you can drop anything. That's for swordplay. This is for defense. Do I have anything that can bless a weapon or armor? Crap. You have blessed armor on. Hey, guess what? Trade. Okay. It's a little bit cheesy that I did that. I will definitely admit it, but so far, got the feeling that this is going to be a really tough battle. Okay, that's for defense. What else you got? That's for melee combat. We really don't have too much else that will help us here. My phone just did something. I don't know what. Then it steps, bloody points of light pulsed. Can I use this? Pug changed his mind. Okay, I can't use it here. This is for stunning enemies. Do you have any spells that we can cast right now? Can sense food. That will not help me at all. No, none of this is worth a damn. Okay. Well, might be an opportune time to save the game. Barely made any progress and already we're saving. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna skip ahead of the dialogue here, because I've already butchered it once for you, and I assume you guys don't need to hear that again, so you'll see me next when I'm trying to attack Pug again. Okay, here we go. That's a shocking development. Stop it. And that was kind of a fortunate start to everything here. Whew. I think that we need to probably start. Will this work on him? Okay. I'm gonna run the risk here. This is probably not the right move. What the fuck even are these things? They're like bats made out of insanity. Fuck. Yep. That'll do her. Oh dear. Okay, so apparently that spell does not work on Mola. We've learned things, and I think that that's probably all she wrote. I'm just gonna go ahead and nuke him and try again here, because I don't think I've got much of a hope here. I don't know if there's really a way to stun him. There very well may not be. Yeah, that did practically nothing. Okay. And there you go. Okay. Learned some important lessons there. Good stuff. Good stuff. Alright, round 2. Wow. Okay, he missed, actually. I'm sure that was aimed at Pug. Okay, we need to find another spell that will take him out of commission here. I could try Fetters of Rhyme. We'll try that here in a minute, but Spare thy eyes, I would doubt that works. We could try that. Going through Skin of the Dragon actually might be a good idea. He has plenty of other spells that are not projectile spells, although with that said, that might be a good idea because that fireball that he casts is debilitating. It just ruins everything. Tell you what, let's start with this. Let's get this guy neutralized. And then I'm going to have Pug try to take him out. Because this guy's going to have to move in order to do anything worthwhile. I don't know why he moved there. Let's see. No. Should we try... Let's try Thoughts Like Clouds. Let's try the max power on it. I doubt that did anything. Oh, no. And again, he missed. That is incredible. Okay, so we've learned that Thoughts Like Clouds does not work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Gift of Song. Let's do this. And then we'll try Fetters of Rhyme. Aha! It's like it's still a threat, but yes. Okay, I think we're onto something here. Okay. Now I wonder if I should have Pug drink up. I think that's a good idea. There. If we're lucky, he'll be able to cast again. Yeah, that's what I figured. Okay, so now we need to start... No. You need to drink a potion too. Because these guys can nuke him as well. Now, this didn't do a whole hell of a lot of damage before. We could try Unfortunate Flux. Let's try that. It did absolutely nothing. Okay. Let's try a... Should we do Flame Cast? Is that going to hurt me? It might. It didn't do anything to him, though. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, Fetters of Rhyme did a small amount of damage to him, I guess. Don't we have that spell that, it's like a... Oh, maybe we can't cast it. I thought there was a spell that allowed us to... It's like a lightning bolt spell. Maybe we can't do it in here. Try this. man. It's not even... Nothing. Try it on this. Oh my goodness. Is it just not showing the damage? I don't understand. I'm so confused. I mean, in his case, we may not be able to see it when it actually hits, I suppose. Oh, my. Now, see, that's doing damage. Okay. It's expensive, but it'll work. Gosh. Whoops, wrong one. That'll do damage at least. Oddly enough, I reflexively used Fetters of Rhyme as if I use it all the time or something. God damn it. Oh, he can still cast. Excellent. Evil Seek, please. Seek out the evil that is Makala's annoying voice. Okay, you, sir. Quaff a potion. So, I say, a lot of cool stuff happening in this Let's Play right now. There's potion quaffing, quaffing, coughing while quaffing. Just ridiculous puns of all sorts. So these guys are completely frozen in place. Who would have thought that Fetters of Rhyme would once again prove to be amazingly useful? I got one of them. That's good. This is kind of anticlimactic, I will confess. Oh no, you need to be frozen. Oh no. Frozen. Let it go. Let it go. Well, don't let it go. Let him die. Oh god. Okay. Can you cast that on him? Nope. I think you lose your turn? Nope. Okay. Drink some of these. And try not to die, please. Oh, damn it. Damn it. You need to drink too. Drink. About to bottom out on the potions. Or the restoratives, rather, to be more precise. Oh, good. We're out. Oh, man. I can't hit either of them. I have to move them. Maybe this will kill this guy here. It did not. Ow. That's actually not the worst thing he could have done. I forgot that he had that spell cast on him. I don't know that he can actually hit him. He can. And with 5 points of damage, that seals the deal with him. I think that we've got this. That's it. It was over. Pug stared at Makala's lifeless form as it lay silently on the hard stone floor, hiding from the grief that threatened to overcome his pain and exhaustion. He turned to Owen, saw the boy was on his knees. Pug was about to help the boy to his feet when he noticed a strange light filling the chamber. The life stone pulsed warmth. Rays of emerald light touched Owen's solemn features, deepening the hollows of his face as he approached the blasted turf occupied moments before by Makala's towering rage. Nearby, Pug spoke softly, his voice diffusing off the cavern walls into 1,000 bouncing whispers. I'm not going to read it in my corny voice. This is a pretty big moment, and I feel like we're getting close to the end of the Let's Play, and I don't want to disrespect it by being totally flippant as I have been. So I'm going to just read this normally, as normal as I can get anyways. It may be difficult, Pug said, but don't judge him too harshly, Owen. I have performed acts nearly as monstrous in the name of common good. I find that hard to believe, Owen replied. You're a good man. So is he in his own way. Loyalty can sometimes misguide even the finest of men. Both magicians flinched in unison as muted sword strikes erupted in the corridors outside the chamber. With startling rapidity, the sounds approached, dissolved into pattering, desperate footfalls, and howling half-screamed oaths. Watch yourself, Pug shouted across the cavern. Someone's coming! Harried by a shadowy assailant, Gorath backed into the chamber, his sword flying in a defensive arc before him. Repeatedly, razor-like fists flashed out of the darkness to challenge him, but he skillfully turned the attacks to his advantage. Finding the rhythm of his opponent, he feinted right when he expected to move left, and a warrior barreled past him. Delicon, Owen exclaimed. I explained that Owen exclaimed Delicon. Tripped up by Gorath, the Moradel leader crashed into the ground, snarling all the while in slavering fury. Attempting to rise, he slashed upward with his gauntleted fist, but brutally Gorath stepped inside his guard and delivered a rain of heavy kicks until the older warrior fell quiet. I suggest you lie still, Gorath snapped, wiping rivulets of blood from his face. I may decide to kill you yet. I hear you, Delicon croaked, his voice weak. For a long moment he remained curled in a ball, his breath tearing raggedly from his throat as he clenched and unclenched his fists. With extreme effort he turned his head and looked upon the mesmerizing light of the lifestone and froze. No, Pug shook his head, apprehension welling within him like a black lake as he caught the Moradel's expression. Stumbling forward, he tried to interpose himself in the way, but his failing strength abandoned him. No! Swatting Gorath effortlessly aside as he rose, Delicon's eyes flashed with reflected radiance. Like a puppet on a string, he began to stagger forward, his eyes almost childish in their plotting. Undoubtedly something had control of his mind. Dazed but alive, Gorath leapt to the attack, and jolted hard into the Moradel leader, his miscalculated blow carrying the both of them not down, but forward into the lifestone. Together they reached for the sword. Why is Gorath smiling? What madness is this? Who? What? Hang on a second! Something within the sword consumes, can't fight it. Him. Ashen sugar, what the fuck? The Valheru souls trapped within the stone are slipping their bonds. We will have to kill them both. But what about Gorath? You must, Owen. Evil can't fight it. Him much longer. Can't hold him. Now! Owen stared blankly at the lifestone. We killed him, Owen said, a bitter hurt in his words. He came to the kingdom to warn us and we killed him. Don't be petulant, Owen. This isn't a time for it. Glaring at Pug with shock, Owen opened his mouth to reply, but found that adequate words failed him. Angered, he turned as if to leave, but felt the Master Magician's hand on his shoulder. Wait, Pug said, his voice more gentle than it had been. Meeting the boy's hateful gaze, he motioned for him to stay. You must understand, Gorath was dead the minute he touched the sword. If we had hesitated another moment longer, both he and Delicon would be dead, and an unspeakable evil would be loose on our world. When Delicon began to change, you could see the Valheru were attempting to mold them into a form they could use. Do you remember the terrible devastation we saw in Temiriania? That would be a paradise compared to the lives we would lead under their dominion. I'm telling you this because you now have knowledge and abilities which come with terrible responsibilities. You will have to make decisions far worse than this someday if you continue down the path you are on. You are going to have to learn to think before you act, but never to regret your decisions, right or wrong. Otherwise, you will slowly begin to not make decisions at all. But how can I know which are the right decisions? Owen asked. How can I be sure? Pug squeezed his shoulder. You need to live to a ripe old age to know that, and I am not nearly old enough to have an answer. All I know is what Macros the Black once told me. He said to train those around me well, to make them powerful, but to also make them loving and generous. I see those things in you. Uh-oh. The battle was against them. Enraged, War Leader Morolf growled orders to his terror-stricken lieutenants as he reviewed their weakening lines from the safety of an elm-shaded hill, watched with fury as his forward ranks of pikemen retreated under an unexpectedly heavy rain of kingdom longbow fire. In a short while, the combined mass of Prince Arutha's relief forces and the garrison at Sethanon would be in a position to push them into the only quarter of the city where they would be unable to retreat. And then it would only be a matter of hours before they would be forced to surrender or die in a blaze set to flush them out. War Leader Morolf, you must come quickly! Hearing a commotion to his left, he muttered a silent curse on Delicon's head for leading them on this fool's errand, and snapped his attention to a small group of Mortel who were advancing towards him, faces flushed with excitement. Their leader, a scar-faced whelp of 20 summers, knelt reverently at his feet before breathlessly delivering his message. At the keep, your father has taken Prince Arutha, and I believe the Marked One is with him. The tide of battle turns. Stalking skeptically after his messengers, he progressed through a ruined avenue and into a cobbled central square filled with conversing Mordel warriors. Above them, Delicon mounted the fire-blackened parapet walk of the keep, preceded by a mysterious robed figure and the Prince of Krondor, the latter bound hand and foot, unable to do anything but follow where he was led. Brethren! Silence fell over the square as the robe-clad figures stepped past Arutha and Delicon and into an archer's turret, a hand placed over his right breast. Ripping open his white garment, he revealed a body made gaunt with hunger, but bearing an unmistakable curling purple birthmark, which resembled a dragon, and was the mark of legend. Instantly, a chant rose among the Mordel warriors, many of them falling to their knees in ecstatic reverence. I have returned, O my children, Mermandamus shouted from the battlements, revealing a glittering sword of gold, its hilt set with stones of lapis. Hidden deep in the chambers of earth below our feet, Prince Arutha sought to keep your sword from me, from us, the key to our future. For 10 years he imprisoned me in the bowels of this hell against my will, but you have freed me, he said, sweeping the air with the sword. 10 years ago I promised you the dawning of a new age. I was repaid with abandonment. But today I am free, because you who followed Delicon believed in our dream. You have demonstrated your worthiness and loyalty, and as a reward you shall bear witness to the death of the Lord of the West, and the final fulfillment of the prophecy. A dark cheer rippled through the crowd as Mermandamus held the sword aloft and faced Arutha, his lips curled back in a wicked smile as he advanced on the dazed prince. Considering the things that had been done to him, the crowd thought it likely their former leader would execute Arutha slowly, and they were ripe for the spectacle. Abruptly, Mermandamus halted. Beneath him, the stones of the keep began to tremble, as if the entirety of the structure were being shaken by an invisible hand. Little Adam Smith reference there for you. Don't know why I felt obliged to mention that. His look of proud defiance suddenly turned to outrage. What treachery is this? Mermandamus screamed. Who meddles with the prophecy? As if in answer, thunder pealed overhead, announcing the arrival of a great dragon and rider, the pair seemingly having formed from the very air itself. Floating down from dizzying heights, they descended to a point level with the keep's rooftops, the dragon's wings beating great gales of wind against the crowd. The prophecy is false, Mermandamus, as are you. Pug shouted from the dragon's back. You have betrayed the folk of the kingdom, and those of your own people for a lie. It is time for your terror to come to an end. At Pug's command, Arutha ducked, narrowly averting death as the dragon skimmed low overhead, lashing the battlements with its titanic whip-like tail, hurling both Mermandamus and Delicon screaming like babes into the horrified hordes who watched far below. Fanning away from the... Didn't they mean Morolf? I thought Delicon was... Anyways, fanning away from the impact of the two, bystanders hastened to escape, fearing a possible second attack from the flying dragon and its equally menacing rider. Standing in the midst of the crowd, Morolf looked on, void of pain or fear, his voice calm and clear as he addressed a goblin lieutenant who stood near him. Gather your kin and call the retreat. Lord Morolf, we may still win. Lead us. Collaring the green-skinned creature, Morolf lifted him off his feet. I now lead the nations of the north, and my first command is that I shall lead us home. Call the retreat, Morolf spat, hurling the goblin backwards. The day is theirs, but I must see to something first. Disregarding the panicked warriors who sought egress from the square, Morolf picked his way over the burning rubble to where his father lay dead, his wolfish eyes reflecting only the clouds of smoke which drifted through Sethanon. I see, I got it. I was wondering why Delicon was mentioned, but that's why. For all his father's grand schemes, for all the things he had thought to accomplish, he was nothing now, nothing but a hulk of dead flesh. He had been a fool to trust the Serani magician. Leaning over the dead body, Morolf snatched up the golden sword which Mermandamus had retrieved from the caverns below. Although he knew very little of the prophecy which inspired both his father and Mermandamus to their deaths, he had no intention of wasting what little they had gained in the battle. Perhaps when he returned to the Northlands, he could still find a way to harness the power of the artifact, assuming it had any powers at all. Morolf! Turning, the Mordhel war leader had no time to react before the lightning-quick assassin was upon him, driving the knife skillfully through his left eye and deep into his brain, killing him instantly. Without a sound, he crumpled to the ground across his dead father, dropping the sword even before he could raise it. Smiling coldly, Nerab withdrew his knife and wiped clean the grey flesh from its bone blade, then snatched Mermandamus's prized sword from where it lay abandoned on the ground. One by one he had borne witness to the destruction of his rivals, Gorath of the Ardanian, his own brother Nego, Delicon, and his son Morolf, all destroyed by their own greed or inaction. Now there would be the matter of dealing with the bitch Lialan. Oh my. That's some salty language. Who had been Delicon's mate, and then he might even claim the throne of Sargoth for himself, assuming no bastard yet the former war leader claimed the... Oh, none of his bastards claimed the right. There you go. It would be of small consequence, however, for now he possessed what they had all sought. Assuming he lived, he would learn to exploit his newfound advantage. Resheathing the knife in his boot, he spotted a slow-moving band of Mordhel limping towards the dim wood, and he hurried to join them, blending in with the crowd in the same manner in which he had come to Sethanon, as an unrecognizable face in a mob of the beaten and the angry. Arutha watched with mild wonder as Pug conjured the prince's duplicate into non-existence, then just as quickly eliminated the remarkably lifelike illusions of Delicon and Mermandamus, who lay crumpled on the ground below the keep. Oh my goodness. Even I was taken in, dear viewer. The corpse of Delicon's son would have to be removed later by less arcane means. Okay. Wow. A shame we didn't have you with us at Armengar, Cousin Pug, Arutha said. A performance such as that before Mermandamus's troops might have won us the battle. Pug shook his head. Spectacle won't win your battles, but at least it may prevent the Dark Brothers from plotting another attack against Sethanon. With a dozen or more Mordhel witnesses you've left alive on the battlefield, most of them should return alive to the Northlands. Having seen their leaders die, and possessing the object Mermandamus sought, they'll have little reason to return here. Clever, clever. Let us hope, Arutha said. I have little desire to do this again. What about the artifact? Owen asked. A useless sword, Pug replied with a grin. The Oracle of All indicated a hidden room which I might find it when I asked for assistance with the plan. Shortly after that, Mordhel gentleman who picked it up returns to Sargoth. I should read that again. Shortly after the Mordhel gentleman who picked it up returns to Sargoth, he will discover it useless and curse the names of both of them for having spilled so much Mordhel blood on false prophecies. Wow. Seeing James and Locklear poking about in the ruins near the keep, Arutha scowled. I have a feeling those two are going to keep me busy for months with their questions about this place. Fortunately, they're loyal. If I tell them the subject is closed, they'll both trust me enough to leave the issue alone. You can always tell them the sword was truly what was buried there, Owen suggested. The answer is good enough for the Mordhel. Arutha shook his head. Locklear will probably forget the matter once he sees a pretty young face in Krondor, but Jimmy is different. He won't accept it, though he will never ask anything more. I don't like that I will have to lie to him. He's a loyal subject as I've ever had. What about the Serani? Owen asked. Nodding, Arutha seemed equally concerned with Pug's answer. I shall have to talk with them. A well-respected member of the Assembly of Magicians named Hochopepa. Really? Just takes all the momentousness out of Hochopepa not to be confused with salt and pepper, already knows something of the event and will help me assuage their fears, Pug said. Thankfully, they have their hands tied with another bothersome individual at the moment. Satisfied, Arutha said his farewells and moved on to be of assistance in evacuating the remaining soldiers from the area, fearing that some might become too curious and discover things best left unfound. While watching the prince depart, Pug smiled quietly to himself, gaining Owen's attention. You seem pleased about something, Owen said. What is it? You will note that the princess is in another game. You will note that the prince said nothing about your silence, Pug said. You know the secret of Sethanon. In all of Midkemia, only Prince Arutha, King Liam, Duke Martin, Thomas of Elvendar, and myself truly know what lies beneath our feet. As if to reinforce the point, Pug tapped his staff at Owen's feet. What are you saying? Smiling, Pug began to lead him down the winding path towards the city's smashed southern gate. What that means is the prince expects me to guarantee your silence. That will be difficult to do. With you in Tyburn and me at my Academy of Magicians at Stardock, it will require that I make a number of long and tiresome journeys for the sole purpose of ensuring you keep your silence. It seems a waste of time. Stopping to look into the sunset, Pug seemed lost in thought. Of course, it is possible I could take you on as a student of magic, your living expenses paid in full by Prince Arutha. Are you interested in becoming a true magician, Owen? Laughing for the first time in a great while, Owen twirled his staff in his hands. I've never wanted anything else. Wow. Quite an ending. Not in any way at all what I was expecting. I had no idea that that's how things would go down, but I'm really pleased with it. And I like how he wrote it such that it would even confuse us as far as why suddenly Delicon was on the scene and what was happening with Arutha and all that. That was really well done. Just a fantastic ending. And I like how there are multiple betrayals. For you see, the enemy was betrayed into thinking that Delicon had captured Arutha, but in fact they had not. And then, what's his face? Mola betrayed us, and there was just betrayal after betrayal. They should call it Betrayals at Krondor. That's not much of a final thought. I will say that this has been an absolute pleasure to play. For, what is it, almost 2.5 years now, I've been plodding my way through this, and it's, despite the fact that it's taken a really long time, I've loved every minute of it, basically. I know that sometimes you guys have gotten frustrated with me fiddling with my inventory and things like that, but it's been an absolute joy to play. One of the games that I have been consistently excited to play every time I sit down to play it. And I think that that's a great review of this game. You will be absolutely overjoyed to play it every time you sit down to do so. But of course, if you're watching this, you may not have much of a reason to play it because you've sat through the entire story and seen pretty much all it has to offer. I did miss some things, with that having been said. There are areas that I did not explore fully. So that might be something that you would like to undertake on your own. I will not be doing that. I don't know what I'm going to be doing from here on out, actually, as far as what game will replace this, if any. It's been a long journey, and it's been a very fulfilling one, and I am kind of surprised that it's over in a way, but I'm also really happy to have completed this great game. I think it's a big feather in my cap that I will tickle you all with on a random basis. Wow, I can't believe it's over. I'm kind of bereft of words at this point, so maybe I should just wind it up. This has been Effing Controller playing the fantastic game Betrayal at Krondor. Wow. Don't really know what else to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I certainly did. I'll see you guys later.